It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Genesis of Olive Branch. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
'Twas the night before the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Crazy bowl season already. Backup quarterback at USC. No Caleb Williams, no problem. 6 touchdowns in the Holiday Bowl. That was a new record for the bowl, and the Trojans win easily without Caleb Williams. The quarterback at A&M got hurt on the first play at Oklahoma State, was a winner, easy, in their bowl game, the Texas Bowl. So we've got plenty of bowls tonight, and then, of course, tomorrow is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We'll talk a bunch about that. The NFL resumes tonight, and there was, big story yesterday. We're going to talk with Russell Copeland about the benching of Russell Wilson and the money that the Broncos are on the line for. Cleveland and the New York Jets start off Week 17 this evening, and the Grizz have their toughest test. That will be in Denver tonight. The defending champions, as the Grizz try to remain perfect in the new Ja era. Pete Pranica will talk about that. That'll come your way in just really about 7 minutes or less. Russell Copeland, as we mentioned, we end Thursdays as we always do with Jarvis Greer. Jarvo was on a nice odyssey. He actually went over the holidays to Atlanta to see that game and to New Orleans. So he watched 2 great W's by the Grizz. Also, I think people are really getting picky about this. I want to say it was Fox Sports maybe. My wife sent me this today, where there were some people that are taking offense on the alley-oop. I guess that was in the game against New Orleans. When Ja landed, he did a thing with his arms outstretched or something, and they say that is like what that's a symbol that you would use after a gunfight or something. Come on. I mean, that's really getting picky. Let the guy have some joy. He sat out the 25-game suspension. And for disobeying the rules, I think actually it was fair. It was a little harsh, but it was fair enough. But he's paid his penance. Let him have some joy. And look what as far as I know, he's been a pretty good citizen the whole way through. And if you see what he'd done, you read some of these stories, and there were nice stories that were done about how he was going to high school games and helping out kids and trying to, reestablish some consistency and better behavior traits. It seems that way he was doing that. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt on a joyous celebration. To me, that seems pretty picky, and you'd have to actually say, whoa, what was your intention on that? Like, your intention? Come on. The commercial appeal has granted a absolute no-brainer. They have named Fred Smith, founder of FedEx, the most benevolent person, I think, in this town. They have given him Sports Person of the Year. Well, you think about it. I mean, it's probably should have happened a long time ago. Could have happened when the Grizzlies first came here. Because would the Grizz have come if they had not basically purchased up front the advertising rights to the stadium, FedEx Forum? I don't think Michael Heisley would have come without that caveat. And remember, the Grizz used that money right away. So he brought him here. He's the guy that put the money up for the video scoreboard at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We know that he's been the main sponsor of the Southern Heritage Classic and a participating sponsor in a big one in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Memphis would most likely not have a tour stop here anymore if not for FedEx. Not only did we go from this incredibly long run, I think it's the second or third longest continuous PGA Tour event, but there were people who had to stop up. In particular, I think of my friend Jack Salmons when the debacle of Stanford Financial, doomed everybody here. Jack got a bunch of people together, and I think Fred and FedEx were a part of that. But FedEx, being the title sponsor of the tour, could dictate some of that schedule. And so after years of really getting the raw end of the deal on scheduling, they got the best deal. First the WGC, now a playoff. There would be no way Memphis would have that if not for FedEx and Fred Smith. And I didn't realize this because I thought it was mainly Billy Donovan, another incredibly benevolent guy that we all miss. But the Leftwich Tennis Center, money came from Fred Smith for that. No brainer. And I still wonder. I remember when Richard Smith was on the air here explaining about the $50 million deal and the ownership shift of the stadium to the university and how he envisioned downtown and he wanted the Grizzlies to run the entertainment district around the stadium in Beale Street. I remember very clearly him saying, we still got tricks up our sleeve for the Power Five. Can't wait to see what that might be. If it happens next year, he gets Sportsman of the Year again. First vote on that. Anyway, that absolutely is a no-brainer. Congratulations to him, that is for sure. And we did mention the Grizz in Denver tonight. This will be the toughest of the tests in the new era. And we're going to talk to Pete Pranica about that in just a moment. I'm sitting in the Family Leisure Studios, and a reminder to you, Christmas sale is over. The post-Christmas sale is about to begin, I bet. I got to talk to Billy. I got to talk to Lindsay, but I'm guaranteeing you they got a trick up their sleeve that will entice you to I-40 and Whidden Road. Family and fun always come together there, and there's always a sale to entice you to come in. Like, check out the pool tables, the shuffleboards, the saunas. It is incredible, the look inside that place now. I believe they're getting the chemicals in. It's right around the corner. We'll be opening up our pools. If you still haven't closed yours, they've got all the things you need for that. It's the place to go for all the family. Everybody enjoys everything that is in Family Leisure. Go check it out. And the title sponsor, that's Genesis of Olive Branch right there at the corner of Highway 78. That's Lamar. And the first exit in Mississippi is Craft Road. You turn left there and go see, within Genesis of Olive Branch, a guy named Vinny Gerard. He's a crazy Canadian who loves hockey and loves cars. He in particular loves Genesis cars, the luxury car. And he's got deals right now on the SUVs, the GV70, the GV80. It's got all the new technology, and it's got the Genesis luxury ride. They were short of these cars for a while because they were so sought after. They've got them now, and all you got to do is go see Vinny at Genesis of Olive Branch. We're going to be joined by Pete here in a minute. Zach is working hard on that. I will let you know. Zach, 12 games into our picks, and we'll make our final 10 picks tomorrow in the pick contest. Wolo, a very shaky 6-6. Zach Boyd, an even shakier 5-7 so far. Well, we've got 10, I think it's 10 picks that we're making tomorrow, so we're going to be busy. Also, program note, tomorrow we will be joined by the one and only Mike DeCourcy. Could not make it on Tuesday. He will join us tomorrow right after we make our picks. Then we've got Andy Schiffman on the NBA. And then Bryant Dacus will be in. It's almost like a pregame show for you because we're all moving from here to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. We'll head to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium and get ready to see what we can do with Iowa State, what Memphis can do with Iowa State. I cannot believe that line. I believe that line opened at like 7. It has now moved to 10.5. And they've lost, I think, an all-conference Big 12 cornerback in TJ Tampa. I love that name. TJ, it's like we go to TJ in Tampa all the time. TJ Tampa is a corner. He's opted out at the last second. I think that was yesterday he opted out. That was helpful for the U of M. I bet they would have had him on Rock Taylor. But that line, the other one, 10.5. I think that's exorbitantly high, but that's just me. Speaking of which, Mile High. Not anything to do with anything, that you would imbibe. This is where Pete is. He's in the Mile High City. He's in Denver for the toughest test of the new Ja era. That would be Pete Pranica. Good morning, Pete. Thank you for getting up early there, because I know it's a little bit earlier. I thought it was sensational what happened the other night with the return of Marcus Smart. I thought Marcus Smart won that game in New Orleans with big plays in the fourth quarter, all the steals, and Tillman also sort of an unsung hero. 6 blocks in that game, and if I heard you correctly on the broadcast, his career high was 2. That's amazing stuff. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, it was amazing stuff. Grizzlies 17 blocks as a team, 5 by X, and I talked to X after the game, and he was beaming, and he says, "I lock bleep up."
Yeah.
So he was all about it, and Marcus obviously did as well with another 5-steal game. They were big throughout that game because the Grizzlies in the first half were really sloppy with the basketball. Both teams really were, and it's just a tribute to the Grizzlies and their commitment to fight through whatever. And I think the fact that they had come from 24 down in that same building about a week ago, they knew that they could come back if they just handled their business, and they most certainly did. I thought there was some really good coaching by the Grizzlies. I thought Willie Green got out coached by Taylor Jenkins, and the Grizzlies did what they had to do. And I know Jaren missed that free throw, which probably would have given them the game in regulation, but you know what? They bounced back from that, and Jaren was really instrumental in the overtime as well. So I think it was a real a credit to. Taylor Jenkins keeps talking about next play mentality, and I thought that was on full display the other night.
You talk about the coaching at the end, and I would concur with you in particular in the overtime when I don't know if it was because of foul trouble or fatigue, Zion Williams is taken out of the game. They bring in that smaller kid in, I think his name is Daniels.
Dyson Daniels, right.
And the Grizzlies and Taylor Jenkins recognized that right away, and 2 consecutive plays they go inside for little baby hooks to Triple J because there's no way Daniels could stay with him. If Zion stays in the game, it's a little different. That was the turning point in the overtime.
Yeah, I talked to the Grizzlies coaching staff, and they understood the thought process of Willie Green in terms of switching and things like that. But the bottom line is Zion doesn't play a whole lot of defense anyway. But it was certainly something that the Grizzlies saw that and they said, okay, we're going to Jaren. Dyson Daniels is talented, but he's young, he's long, he's thin. Jaren's a lot stronger, and Grizzlies were able to take advantage of it.
So 4-0 in the new Ja era, and I think you win twice in New Orleans. You win once on the road in Atlanta. 3 of the 4 wins have come. You beat an Indy team. I know they've cooled off a little bit, but you beat them at FedEx Forum. Obviously, this is the toughest test, but we talked last week about one player that is able to rise like high tide lifts all ships. This guy is a transcendent player. He's made everybody better. And I don't think there's any denying that now after what we've seen these 4 games.
No, I think we all knew that he would be a major difference maker, but statistically the numbers, just spike. And it's unfair to talk about the Grizzlies and their season-long stats because they're not a reflection of where this team is right now. The other thing, too, is that as the season has progressed, the Grizzlies' defense has gotten better to the point where, they're close to a top 10 defensive team, and that's been helpful. Offense obviously is going to follow along, but now you have Marcus and you have Ja. Ja's questionable due to illness. There's a bug going around the team. John Conchar missed the last game, so we'll see how that plays out. And Ja, I think, was a little bit under the weather even in the New Orleans game. But there's no question he makes a difference. The Grizzlies play faster. They play much more up-tempo, and the fact of the matter is, if you're somebody other than Ja Morant and he's speeding up the court, you better haul butt up the court because you're going to get left behind. And if you run with Ja, you're going to get rewarded. And his team is playing with certainly a renewed spirit right now, and that's huge because through the first 25 games, it was it was a real slog, I think, emotionally for these guys because they were battling their butts off. They were very shorthanded and weren't getting the results, and it sometimes that can grind on you. But Ja's presence and what he's been able to do has really lifted everybody. You're absolutely right.
He's made even Zaire Williams is a better player with him out there. There's no question. You put Smart now in there, and we can see why that was an important acquisition by Zach Kleiman in the offseason because that's going to work nicely together. Here's a question. If I think it's fair, Vince Williams seems to be the better Williams. Why has it taken so long to identify what he can really be? Is it giving Zaire because and let's say LaRavia more opportunities because they invested in them at the draft, or was Williams slow in developing? What do you think is the reason that it's taken so long to identify Vince Williams as really the better Williams?
Well, I think what had happened was, Vince Williams was part of a good VCU defensive team, but he wasn't a defensive standout. And I think it took maybe a bit of time for the Grizzlies to decide that, okay, Vince, if you are going to be a rotational player in the NBA, it's going to be on the defensive end. And they laid out this plan for him, how to be effective defensively, and Vince has totally bought in and realizes that by being a defensive nuisance, a stopper, a pest, a shot blocker, a rebounder, a physical guy who doesn't back down from stars, he realizes, and he's totally bought in to that whole concept, that this is a way that he can be in the league. I think Zaire has the desire. I think he's got the talent, but Zaire had one very truncated college season at Stanford. And the hope is that he will continue to develop. But Vince has really bought in, and he plays with a smile on his face. But except when he's guarding the stars, and then he's got a grimace on, and it's great to see. He's a two-way player. So the other thing that the Grizzlies are could be forced into a situation is now do you convert that to a full NBA contract because you only have a two-way player up with the big club for 50 games.
Right.
So, we're nowhere near that, but I think there may be a decision point where you have to say, okay, maybe we need to make Vince Williams transfer that to a full NBA contract, and then there's another roster move you may have to make down the line. But it's a really good story. Vince is a great guy, and thrilled for his success.
What is the status of Derrick Rose and Luke Kennard?
Haven't gotten an update on Luke other than I believe he's been playing some 3-on-3. And obviously as he continues to progress, 3-on-3, 5-on-5. Derek has been getting in some good workouts. We haven't been given a timetable. He won't play tonight, but I can't imagine that it will be much longer. I don't know if that means tomorrow night against the Clippers. You talk about tonight being a tough test. Clippers have caught fire, and so now you've got a back-to-back, Denver to L.A. That's the logistics are tough enough, and two really, really good teams. So I'm sure that they'll have Derek has been going through some pretty serious workouts pregame. I'm sure the performance team will monitor him and give a recommendation if it's thumbs up, thumbs down, or a game time decision tomorrow in L.A.
Well, Chris can't catch a break. They get everything going, all this momentum, and now they get the flu. So crazy. 4.5 back though. Of the play-in, so they're definitely on their way. We'll see how all of this will unfold. It's going to be fun. Now, I sit back here and I marvel. Sometimes I think about. I believe Robert Pera bought the Grizzlies for $330 million from Michael Heisley. It's now worth $2 billion. But this is the best deal of all. Mark Cuban, 23 years ago, bought the Mavericks for $285 million in that market with the arena. $285 million. Mm-hmm. He sold most of it because I think he retains 27% of it for $4 billion and said he could have gotten more, but these were the right partners for him. And, of course, he still gets to run the basketball operations. Can you believe, I mean, do you pinch yourself sometimes when you see the money in this league from $285 million? What an investment. 23 years later, it's $4 billion. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, the valuations have gone up. It's an incredibly popular sport. It's popular worldwide. I think you're going to see. It'll be interesting to see how the media deals shake out. But you're seeing ratings at record highs across the board. The in-season tournament turned out really well for the NBA, so it's certainly a hot property. It is a sport that skews maybe a little bit younger in terms of demographics, which is highly desirable. So, you talk about valuations. Now, I know this goes back a lot further, but I was reading, obviously, Senator Herb Kohl, the former owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, passing away. He bought the Bucks for $18 million.
I'm
the Bucks right now are probably worth $3.5.
Yeah.
So it's.
But when did he buy that? Think about that, because I think that was in 70s or 80s, right? I mean, it
would have been. I think it would have been in the 80s. Jim Fitzgerald
80s.
was ailing and sold. But yeah, I mean, it's a much longer runway in terms of time. But just the incredible increase in value it's amazing. And when you look at a small market team like the Grizzlies, $330-some million, and now a $2 billion franchise, it's a good business. The NBA is good business right now.
Oh my gosh, think about this. Before Magic and Bird, okay? And I think Dr. J gets some responsibility for making the league an enticement. But before Magic and Bird, there was a championship game that wasn't even broadcast live. It was on tape delay. Now you got 5 games on Christmas.
Right. Yeah, I think that was actually. I think it was a Philadelphia Lakers series because I remember. Yeah, CBS showed it on tape delay after the late local news.
It's just nuts. All right, real quick. Can the Timberwolves hold on to the top spot? I mean, I'm amazed. I see Milwaukee. I see OK City second. You see the Lakers at 16 and 15 and the Suns at 500. There are some surprises in the West. Can those surprises maintain this all the way through?
Yeah, I think Minnesota's going to hit some bumps in the road, but I think their roster construction, adding Mike Conley, I think was huge for them because that was their missing piece, and they figured out the spacing where Towns and Gobert can coexist and both be really good, and then you got Anthony Edwards. So, I mean, you've got a three-headed monster there that's very, very good, and Chris Finch might be one of the best NBA coaches nobody talks about.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Lakers the Lakers amaze me. They win the in-season tournament to begin with. They raise a banner, and then they tank.
Yeah, I mean, it's up and down, and there's some rumors that they're in the bidding war for Zach LaVine out of Chicago to prop up their scoring a little bit more. That would really make them even more dangerous. But yeah, the Lakers, it's going to be kind of up and down with them. But it's LA, it's Hollywood. There's got to be drama, right?
Yeah. If they did get a deal for Zach LaVine, are they going to get rid of Austin Reeves? That would be a mistake in my mind.
I think it would be a huge mistake, but I don't know what the offers are right now. But the rumors are that they would be. The Lakers are always looking to add stars. Reeves is not the he's not the big star. LaVine certainly would be a big star, but I agree with you. Austin Reeves is a guy you definitely want to keep around.
Well, and the reason I think he'll stay is that LeBron likes him. I don't think they're going to trade anybody away that LeBron wants.
That's reasons 1 through 10 that Austin Reeves will stay with the Lakers.
All right, Happy New Year, my friend. When we talk next time, it'll be 2024 safe travels. You got a bunch of those, and we look forward to seeing you sometime in Memphis soon.
Great. Thanks, Wolo.
Thank you. That is our man, the voice of the Grizzlies on TV. That is Pete Pranica, and he came your way live from Denver. He's brought to you by Southern Security. That's your hometown credit union. You could say your home team credit union. They are all about Memphis. They are big Tiger supporters, and they keep growing. Dawn Grader makes this thing hum. She's just broken ground. I've said this before, on a brand new building in Collierville. Everybody seems to be moving out to Collierville. It's the promised land, and I can promise you this: Southern Security, 70 years of doing business in the Mid-South. They do it with unbeatable rates, low fees. the best of service, and here's the new thing. Wait till you see this building in Collierville. Always the latest in technology. If you're a business owner, Southern Security is the place for you. If you need an auto loan, better benefits on your credit card. At Southern Security, they will take care of all your business banking needs. They're going to give you the best rates on an auto loan and the best rates on credit cards. There's so many great things that Southern Security, your home team credit union, can do for you. All you got to do is ask about it. You can go to southernsecurity.org, but they encourage you to call 452-7900. Talk to one of the team members. It's that simple. Southern Security, your home team credit union for 70 years. We'll pause for a second. When we come back, it's Russell Copeland on the National Football League.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
It's the hometown Memphis Tigers taking on Iowa State in this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Plus, Memphis music legends, the Barkays, will be there performing the music that made Memphis, and you'll want to be there too.
Everybody say, so bigger, say, so bigger.
It's all happening Friday, December 29th at 2:30. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUVs, Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Genesis of Olive Branch. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo, Radio Gaga.
And welcome back in on this Thursday as we wind our way through 2023. Can't believe this year has passed as quickly as it has. Can't believe the Tigers are in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We're going to chat about that with Russell Copeland and, of course, the National Football League. Lots to get there with him. It's all brought to you by Ken Garland, Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Ken understands the financial commitment you're making when you are doing a redo. Now, that could be a renovation. I call it renovation with innovation. Nobody is better than Ken Garland at taking all the modern amenities, the media room with the speakers in the wall, the California closets, the brand new kitchen with the island and the granite cabinet tops, all those things. He's terrific at that. But he understands you're making a commitment. Or if you're building that dream home on land that maybe you've had in your family forever, you're not sure how to utilize. Oh, he's got the wisdom. He's got 70 years of that. He and his dad, no, he hasn't been around for all 70. His dad started the company. He's taken it over the last, 20 years or so. Go to kengarland.com. You will be amazed at what you will see. You'll love it. And then call 751-1632. He's going to work closely with you because he understands your commitment, and he commits this to you. Incredible craftsmanship. I'm not kidding. And making sure you get exactly what you will expect. Construction that is on time and on budget. It's a great experience. 751-1632, Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Russell Copeland standing by. I know I'm going to see him in coaches' meetings today. We'll get into the Liberty Bowl in a minute. Big story in the NFL. Besides all the upsets and the great games this past weekend, was the benching by Denver of Russell Wilson after they've actually extended his contract, and he got I thought, an unbelievable new beginning with Sean Payton, and they had it going for a minute there, but it's going backwards again, and he's out. How shocked are you? Good morning.
Happy New Year to you, and hope you had a Merry Christmas. But, just speaking of, this marriage between Sean Payton, I think I am surprised because when I look at a financial situation, when you look at the financial part of it, giving Russell Wilson such a huge contract, $245 million, and you had $160 million guaranteed. Now you look at the team tanking because now they do not want to pay the $39 million to Russell Wilson because if he's not injured, that money is due to him in March. So I am a little bit surprised because you have to look at the salary cap implications going into next year. That's going to be a $34.5 million hit, $39 million cash hit. When you look at 2024, if you wait, then it's going to be $49.6 million in 2025. And if you cut them before March, it's just a dead money cap of $85 million. So I am surprised from the financial standpoint.
And this could be crippling with that kind of cap hit for a couple of years.
And you have to look at, Dave, what they gave up. They basically mortgaged, the farm. They gave up 2 first-rounders. They gave up 2 second-rounders. They gave up their starting tight end, starting defensive tackle. So it's a lot of financial implications. And when you look at it, the way Sean Payton and the relationship has been with Russell Wilson, it's not what you usually see with a head coach, with a quarterback that has won a Super Bowl with the pedigree of Russell Wilson. You look at a couple of weeks ago, how he was, in Russell Wilson's face, just totally embarrassing that quarterback. And I've never seen a quarterback with that type of pedigree and a head coach, get into him like that on national television. And that's something that I wouldn't have thought from Sean Payton, but Sean Payton, when you look at this year, he publicly discredited Nathaniel Hackett. And he's not the Sean Payton that I knew when I played a lot of years ago. He was the quarterback's coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. He wasn't that. But when you win a Super Bowl, you get a little arrogance, and Sean Payton has definitely shown that arrogance the last year here.
Well, he didn't do that with Drew Brees, ever, in New Orleans. And I hate to say this, but now he's not the first head coach that has given up on Russell Wilson. So, Russell Wilson was a great quarterback with Seattle. I'm not going to dispute that. He was one of those guys that, began this new wave of mobile quarterbacks that can run and throw the ball that are pretty durable. But, the old line, Cedric Cornbread Maxwell, Father Time's undefeated. I just don't think he's the same guy. I don't know what he did to infuriate Sean Payton the way he did to embarrass him, but he's just not the same guy.
Well, Dave, if you look at just that particular drive, if you look at it, Russell Wilson gets to line up. He didn't jump off sides. The offensive line jumped off sides, but still, I played in the National Football League for 6 years, and I've never seen a head coach get into a quarterback that has that pedigree, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and they have that type of conversation, and he gets into him. But when you look at Russell Wilson, I don't think Seattle gave up on him. When you just look at it, he led you to 2 straight Super Bowls. He's getting older, yes, but when you look at career-wise, from a career standpoint, this is the guy that you traded for. I mean, career 33 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 101.8 passer rating. That's what he has now. I mean, he's not playing just that bad. The team isn't playing good. He's 8th in the league in passer rating, 98. He has 26 touchdowns this season. That's more than solid, and that's right there with his average. He's rushed for 353 yards a season his last 4 years in Seattle. He has 341 with 2 games to go. The team isn't good. The team has not got together offensively to Sean Payton's offense. The wide receivers aren't making big plays. The defense gave up 70 points early in the year. This is a team situation. You can't just blame it all on Russell Wilson. But I'm going to go back to your point. When you look at Drew Brees was not the same quarterback at the end of his career. No quarterbacks are at the end of their career. Tom Brady wasn't the same at the end of his year. We look at the great Peyton Manning when he won a Super Bowl. He threw for, 50-something yards? He probably couldn't even throw the football 50 yards. So we understand that you're not going to be the same quarterback. We're talking about respectability and how you should carry your team as a leader with Sean Payton and how you talk to your starting quarterback. We've never seen that. I've seen quarterbacks get into coach's face with little less than that on national television. And it was just really mind-boggling to me to see what Sean Payton did to Russell Wilson on national television.
All right, a lot of surprises this weekend, so I'm going to ask you if you were surprised at the Baltimore dominance of San Francisco. They were the 2 best teams in the NFL going in. They had both, if the playoffs had started, would have gotten a bye. It was in San Francisco, and the Niners were 5.5-point favorites and were never in the game. Surprised?
I'm surprised about how the game was one-sided. I was not surprised by how Baltimore won the football game. We talked about it last week, and I think that was one game that we were not on the same page with. You thought San Francisco would win that game.
I did.
Baltimore, when I look at it, as far as running the football, they're the number 1 running football team. They can stop the run. They've got a defense that flies around, a lot of physicality, and Lamar Jackson is that guy. Lamar Jackson is very hard to defend, and if you look at how San Francisco had to defend Lamar Jackson, they wanted to make sure that he did not get into the lanes and in the gaps. That's not how the way San Francisco plays. San Francisco gets up the field, and they put pressure on the quarterback, so they were not as aggressive as they usually were. And Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions, and I take it 2 of those interceptions were hit at the line of scrimmage. But when you look at the first drive, Dave, and you look at how San Francisco was driving the football, that one mistake, critical mistake on the 5-yard line, 10-yard line, he throws the interception, it's intercepted in the end zone, bad read by Brock Purdy, everything went downhill. I thought that Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens would get to the Super Bowl before the season. I thought they were the best team in the NFL and in the AFC, and they proved that last week.
They sure looked like world beaters last week. No doubt about it. Patrick Mahomes at home with Kansas City to a below-average Vegas team got creamed. Worst game I've seen from Patrick Mahomes. Surprised?
I'm not surprised because if you look at since Tyreek Hill has left, as for him throwing the football down the field, being explosive, that offense being where when you have Tyreek Hill taking the top off, it makes it easier for Kelsey to come across. Patrick Mahomes now can throw it underneath. They do not have the explosive wide receivers. They're not reliable as they were before. Now it's easier for you to play defense against Travis Kelsey. His numbers have been going down this year. They've not the same team that they were before. Not surprised at all.
Cleveland. like out of nowhere with Joe Flacco as their quarterback. 368 yards, 3 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, a franchise best, 265 receiving yards. They beat Houston. Obviously, they don't have their starting quarterback at the moment. Surprised?
Well, not really surprised about how Cleveland has been playing throughout the year. They have the number one defense, but when you look at Joe Flacco, as far as quarterbacks that were unavailable or available, not playing in the National Football League, I think it was the perfect fit. You look at him playing a lot of years for Baltimore, playing in that division, running the football, playing with a good defense. He's come in, he fits very well. So not surprised on how Cleveland is playing, but I am surprised at how you get a quarterback such as Joe Flacco later on in his years playing as well as he's playing.
Tampa with Baker Mayfield. Another chance for him. 338 yards, 2 touchdowns. They beat Jacksonville struggling. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think, is 100% or even close. Tampa has the chance to even get past 500 and win the NFC South. Surprised?
I was surprised in the loss of Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been a team that's kind of been up and down, but I do think they'll be a team to make the playoffs. But Baker Mayfield, I've been critical of Baker Mayfield at times. He has been playing a lot better than what I thought. Still have a couple of games left, but they're right there in the mix. And, whoever comes out of that division, they're 8-7, but right behind them, you look at Atlanta Falcons and you look at the New Orleans Saints, they're 1 game behind. I thought the Saints would win this division, but right now Baker Mayfield is playing really good football. Defense is playing good. He's not turning the football over. That's why they're winning the division right now at 8-7.
And finally, we turn to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We got our coaches' meetings here in a few hours downtown. I go along with the same theme. The Tigers are 10.5-point underdogs in this game. They do have to figure out how to play with 2 new offensive linemen. And they've lost 1 defensive back, a safety, who was their number 4 leading tackler, and I think led the team in interceptions, Cameron Smith, who came on toward the end of the year. But are you surprised they're that big of an underdog?
I'm totally surprised. I mean, when you look at the players not playing, you look at the offensive line, you're losing Carter, you're losing Pounders, and you don't have Cameron Smith on defense who had 3 interceptions. But when you look at Iowa State, they have about 14 players that are not playing, and their top 3 rushers, they still have the top rushers, but the next 2 rushers, they're not playing.
Right. Their
top cornerback, who's a 3rd-team All-American, he said yesterday that he's not going to play. Totally surprised. When you look at this offense for Memphis, they're one of the top offenses, explosive offenses in the league. You look at how the defense played the last couple of games. They were a bending but do not break. Yes, I'm totally surprised. And I think we'll know after the meeting who plays and who does not play. But I think, honestly, Dave, it's going to come down to, at this point in time in the season when players are opting out, not playing, going to the National Football League, both of these teams have to play the game. Who really wants it more, and which one of these teams are going to come out with that energy and play with the players that are on the field? That's ultimately what it's going to come down to tomorrow. Come Friday.
He is our guy who breaks it down. That is the one and only Russell Copeland. Happy New Year, my friend. I'll see you in a couple hours.
Thank you, Dave.
Russell Copeland. Next up, we always end Thursdays with Jarvo. He's right around the corner.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded. You ready to end the year with some money in your pocket? We got it covered at Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. Get to the Pike for the award-winning 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range MPGE, $299 a month. Get ready for your road trip in the 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $27,000 or just $399 a month. And cool has never been cooler than in a 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We got it at $30,700 or $499 a month. And no worries with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike. Gift wrapping available. You want it, we got it. Shop online anytime at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ06203 MSRP 44,355 Sport RU 001136 MSRP 28,000 Eclipse RZO 12051 MSRP 31,700 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Genesis of Olive Branch. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We might be doing that at the gala tonight, dancing the night of the way. That'll be with the Barcays. Looking forward to that. Looking forward, obviously, to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Tomorrow, we always end Thursdays with the one and only Jarvis Greer. Jarvo has just completed an interesting holiday Merry Christmas Odyssey. Atlanta, New Orleans. It was Biz with the Grizz or something like that, Jarvo. Good morning. How was that trip?
Oh, it was totally awesome. The weather was great. We were able to walk around. The driving was not bad. And, got 2 dubs out of it and got to see one of the best players in the world do his thing. As the Grizzlies are now 4-0 in the return of Ja. And that dude is, the Grizzlies have become one of those teams like the Celtics and the Lakers. When they go away, it seems like there might be more fans, of the Grizzlies than of the home team, than of the other team. It's like every time they did anything, every time Ja especially did anything, there's this crowd. The crowd just cheers and erupts. And it's really kind of cool to see. And, no, it's not kind of cool. It's awesome to see, knowing that you're one of those teams now that has a player like that the whole league and the whole world, looks and wants to see. Must-see TV, appointment television, and great to be in the arena.
Speaking of this, I said something about it a little bit earlier. I think it's awfully picky, almost ridiculous, but there is it's actually Fox News that has there on their website a guy named Ryan Morick is the writer who took umbrage to a celebration that Morant had. It was during the game at New Orleans Tuesday. He threw down an alley-oop dunk, and he proceeded to celebrate by stretching his arms out and shimmying them back and forth, which many perceived to be a shooting celebration. He then appeared to mimic a rocket launcher on his shoulder. Come on. I mean, we have to ask his intention.
That's because they want to see it that way, Dave.
Right.
People see what they want to see. That's the old Rocky Hips move that's done by a lot of, I think it started in Baton Rouge, actually. A lot of the LSU players do it as their touchdown celebration. A lot of the LSU players in the NFL do it. And it's, it has nothing to do with guns or anything. Pretty soon it's going to get, if Ja makes the 3 symbol after he hits the 3, you know how you do you make it, it's circle. Like the okay symbol?
Right,
yeah, they're going to say that's he, holding an Uzi or something. Come on, people. Let the man live and have some fun. And,
let him have
we were
some
there
joy.
At that game.
Look.
Yeah, we were at that game, and the fans at that end of the arena on that side, they were laughing and they were cheering Ja for one, but they were laughing at it because he knew he was trolling them because he was doing the dance that they basically invented in their own house against them on what basically Pete Pranica would say the hammer nail coffin.
Right. Well, here's my thing. The guy paid his penance. There are some people that thought it was way over harsh. I thought because he basically did not listen to the commissioner after meeting, and I think the commissioner's got to do something when you blatantly disregard something that you've basically put up for the guy. I get the harshness of it, but he did it. He did his penance. He's gone to high school games. He I think tried to be a better citizen. Why would you deny the guy the option of having some joy in his life? He paid his penance. Let him live. Let him have fun. It's crazy to me that he's going to be picked on like this. But maybe that's what he's going to get until he's a good citizen for a while. I don't know.
Like I said, people see what they want to see. They were trolling John's dad, who is, T is going to be T, and let him live his best life, man. If it was my son down there clowning the rest of the league, I'd be doing the same dadgum thing. He's having fun down there. The crowd loves him. Whenever T goes anywhere, we've been several places now, including the playoffs, back when I was working at Channel 5. And, T's always on there sitting courtside. He's usually wearing the hoodie and the glasses, and he's going back and forth with the fans, and they're having a great time. What's wrong with that? Everybody's having a great time. So, hey, it is what it is, but, Ja is otherworld talent, and the Grizzlies have him, and the other teams don't, and that's why the Grizzlies have a chance to climb out of this hole that they're in, and, got a chance to get you got to say they're a playoff contender because, they went 3 out of 2.
They're 4.5 back now. They're 4.5 back of that slot. The last team might be the Suns at 500. I think it is. They're the last playing team. So you're 4.5 games behind them. You're 4-0 in this year. You got your toughest test tonight. And Pete Pranica was saying a bunch of the guys have for the flu, including Ja.
Yeah.
So, this one doesn't look so good.
Well, there's some people saying, well, maybe they just ought to sit him because they know this is going to be a tough game, playing at Denver's home. But then you got the Clippers, who you beat earlier in this season without Ja and without everybody, Marcus Smart and everybody. I'm talking more about Marcus Smart in a second. But you beat them at L.A. right after the Beard, James Harden, joined that team. So, I don't think they fear any team in this league. But, everybody's sick with it. I got family members sick with whatever's going around now. So,
there's some nasty
get your
stuff.
shot and tape yourself up.
I will say this, though. If Ja can go, you want him to play every game he can. He's missed too many games, and he can even get in better shape than he is now. So
he's got fresh legs,
I
no
would
doubt
play
about that.
I'm watching
the NBA Wars this year.
By the way, I'm watching a game we almost did. That is the Fenway Bowl. And it is a downpour, 3-0 Boston College. SMU is starting to make a move here with about 12 minutes to go in the first half. So I'm glad,
tell you, Dave,
glad we're not doing that game because that would have been in the rain.
I want to tell you, I know you were talking about liking to go to Fenway just to have a chance to experience that, but I think Memphis got the best deal of all the bowls, even though it may be cold tomorrow. Just, buckle up, button up. But they got the best deal of all the bowls that could have been offered by the American Athletic Conference, in that they got the oldest, most prestigious bowl, they got the bowl with the most payout, and they get to stay home with the better weather. I saw that the Military Bowl was even mentioned as Memphis, and that was a downpour that Tulane played, and I feel for them having to play without their head coach and without Michael Pratt.
Yeah, without their quarterback, right. Yeah,
but, that's just weather was horrible there.
Well, and people talk, this is just me, but people are going to compare, I promise you, the game in 6 years ago when it was 21-20. There were all those, by the way, I think it ended up being 11 guys on that team played in the NFL. 11. Right. That's pretty amazing. You know how many opt-outs Iowa State has now? They got the one impact player, the cornerback TJ Tampa. He's opted out. But he's the 14th guy. So I think fans sort of reflect the way teams are. Memphis has some opt-outs. Iowa State's got 14 opt-outs. Big name guy like TJ Tampa, can you blame fans for going, okay, well, they're not going to play. Why should we come?
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Although I know that they sold a lot of tickets, so we'll see how many show up. I know they're going to be drinking big when they get here. But, it's a really difficult thing. And I think that, this is just me as far as the opt-out situation. I am all for the players. I was one marginally myself way back in the day. But I think the portal, the way it is, and if you opt out because you want your NFL career, you want to start working on that, okay, I get it. But I think, they're going to have to either offer some sort of financial incentive for the players to play it all the way out, all the way through if you go to a bowl game, or some sort of insurance thing. I know the top players get some like $10 million insurance deal or something like that they can sign if they want to and still play in their game. But and then with the transfer portal, I think it should be after the whole season. If you're going bowling, you can't do anything until after that. And I think they should make a rule on the coaches too. You can't go until your whole season is complete. That means you coach your team in the bowl game, then you go wherever it is that you go.
Well, first of all, I would take it a step further. I would not allow the recruiting that you do over the bowl season. Change the calendar completely. Honestly,
I agree with that, but they'll find a way to get around it.
And here's the other thing. I think this will happen. When you sign an NIL, you got to include a postseason clause.
Wherever your team goes, you're there for
you. If you want to get paid, you got to play in the game.
I'm agreeing with that. I don't see why that would be that much of a problem. If you're worried about you might get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, heck, you could get hurt walking down the street or working out. And in terms of that, if they want you that badly, if some other team wants you that badly, they'll take you whether you sprain your ankle or not in the bowl game.
Real quick, about a minute. Give me your take on what happens tomorrow afternoon.
Well, we'll learn a lot more about Iowa State when we talk to the coaches today at the team headquarters hotel downtown. And I don't get this 10.5-point line. I don't get that
either.
at all, especially with all the opt-outs. I know Iowa State has a tremendous defense. Were they like the best in the Big 12 defensively, I think?
They only give up 21 points a game, so that's pretty good.
Well, the Tigers have the 15th ranked offense in the nation. So
39 points a game.
Yeah, Memphis is pretty good now offensively, and this could be like a track meet. If it is, Tigers are at home, and I think they have all said, even the guys that are not going to come back for their COVID years, like Allen and a couple of the other guys, the center, Jacob Light, they want this game. It's all going to come down to who wants the game the most, and I think Tigers want to defend the home turf. I don't see that 10.5-point line. And I see Memphis possibly pulling this thing out because Memphis can score.
No doubt.
They can score now.
Yeah.
And everybody
We'll find out where all those
hottest he ever was.
We'll find out where all those
here down the stretch.
Yeah, we'll find out where all the opt-outs are. If they're all on the defensive side, Memphis is in pretty good shape, I would think.
Yeah.
Then,
well, they got good players over there. That's no doubt.
Happy New
and
Year!
I want to welcome all the Iowa State fans. Drink as much as you want, eat as much as you want, spend a whole lot of money, and hopefully you won't feel too bad when you take that L on the way home. How about that?
Here you go. See you this afternoon. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Happy holidays, everybody. Got another big one coming up in a couple of days.
That is Jarvis Greer on a whole bunch of stuff. He's brought to you by the Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group, they do things differently. They collaborate with you. They get to know you, and then they will protect you with insurance on your home, on your auto, and on life insurance. And if you've got a mid to small business, let me tell you, they're going to get to know you the same way. They'll collaborate with you on your product and not on your employees. They'll get to know all of them. They'll get to know by forecasting out what's important to you, because where will your business be in 5 years? What's your budget? And then they pick the perfect commercial insurance. All you got to do is call 901-386-4777. That spells out GER because they're big Tiger supporters. 901-386-GER. That's how you get protected the collaborative way, the good way, with the Eflin Insurance team. That'll do it for us. We'll be making picks tomorrow. We'll talk to Mike DeCourcy. It'll be a big day, and then it'll be the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. But we've still got plenty of day today, including Johnny Radio, who's right around the corner. He comes your way in a minute.